My name is H.A. Goodman. I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. Hit subscribe right now. We're on our way to 140,000 subscribers. Check out my Federalist article below on AOC's Green New Deal and how it relies on the mining of cobalt in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the mining of lithium in Latin American countries, and the pollution, in the environmental toll, and most importantly, the human suffering the mining of cobalt leads to, which is needed for the manufacture of electric car vehicle batteries. So AOC's Green New Deal is not green. It's linked to tremendous political, environmental, and human cost, especially within the Congo, where the majority of the world's cobalt supply is found. My Second Amendment channel below, check that out. I'm uploading new content every day. It's amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, to support my voice, my Patreon is below. Look, I don't know how to say this to people. I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. It wasn't anyone on the Young Turks, it was me. The Washington Post called me the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters. Wasn't anyone now who loves Bernie Sanders or Kamala Harris or Elizabeth Warren or Kristen Gillibrand. It was me. When Bernie Sanders was an obstacle or threat to the establishment as a populist candidate, at that moment in time when he was a foil to Hillary Clinton, there was only two choices in the Democratic Party, two choices. He could have won in a fair primary. Everyone knows this. There's a hashtag Bernie would have won now. I was right. He would have actually defeated Trump, okay, if theoretically the Democratic Party rallied around Bernie Sanders. He would have defeated Trump, okay? Thank God Trump won. I'm voting for Trump in 2020. He's bringing home Americans from counterinsurgency conflicts. Bernie Sanders very likely would not have, and I'll explain why. He's even dragging his feet on, it has to be an orderly transition, orderly withdrawal. It's like you're parroting the same Democratic Party lines. About everything, by the way. But anyway, President Trump is presiding over peace between North and South Korea. I don't think Bernie would have. He would have been a tool of the Democratic Party like he is now. Look, they cheated him. He raised $200 million in 2016 and 2015. We know from Jared Beck, Elizabeth Beck, and Nico House of the DNC fraud lawsuit that Democrats literally said we can pick our candidate in smoke-filled back rooms. That's what the lawyers said. We're a private entity, but of course, they're begging. They have made the U.S. government impose sanctions, indict people based on a CrowdStrike assessment, a third-party tech firm that they hired, not the U.S. government, to look at the service. Anyway, you know that whole spiel, okay? They're a third-party tech. They're a private entity, but yet they claim it's a national security risk that Russia would hack them to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated, thus leading to Debbie Wasserman Schultz resigning. But, oh, by the way, Bernie had every chance to win. He just couldn't defeat Clinton. He raised recently $10 million. I'll read you the headlines right now. It's all going to Clinton 2020. Do you think Amy Klobuchar is going to run a commercial with her eating salad with a comb? Or Elizabeth Warren drinking a beer? Or Kamala Harris talking about, smoking out. No, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. By the way, she was on a radio show, and she was saying, oh, yeah, I inhaled marijuana. Okay, that's fine. I want marijuana to be legal on a federal level. Okay, not just state by state, federal level. Marijuana must be legal. I don't partake, but it should be legal on a federal level. But even her father, even Kamala Harris's father, which I agree with him, he condemned that. He was not happy. It's not something like you want to pander to. It is what it is. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I agree with Kamala Harris's father on his critique of her talking about, oh yeah, I inhaled, it was so fantastic. Anyway, the point is, nobody in the Democratic field resonates. There's nobody that can raise money. There's nobody that really speaks to Democratic voters actually, there is no message to speak to. There are different factions within the Democratic Party. Bernie Sanders has raised $10 million. He is going to give that money to the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is then going to use that money. He's using it for his campaign now. The campaign is going to pave the way, funnel all the progressive, millennial, youth, idealistic vote, potential Green Party vote into the Democratic Party, first through Bernie Sanders, then through certain pundits, then back into the Democratic National Committee, then back to Clinton 2020. If you don't think that's going to happen, guess what? Could you believe that Bernie Sanders was actually cheated, and then he blamed Russia for informing the country that he was cheated, not the Democratic Party, and then he blamed Trump for working with Russia, even though one of the indictments based on a CrowdStrike assessment of DNC servers, not the United States government assessment, but a CrowdStrike, a third-party tech firm that was outsourced by the Democratic Party, based on that assessment, Bernie Sanders has been pushing and perpetuating a stupid myth that Trump worked with Russia, and he was, overt, Clinton had to work against more than just a candidate. She had to work against a foreign power. But this is Bernie Sanders talking. You think he's going to bring home Americans? This is one of the biggest reasons I love the guy. Love, it's past tense. He's funneling now money. He's raising $10 million from people, from hundreds of thousands of people. And it's not going to work out well because, look, well, I'll read you. Bernie Sanders raises $10 million in less than a week. He's going to be a money-making machine for Clinton. Clinton's running again. She's running again. They're not going to roll with Amy Klobuchar or Elizabeth Warren. Biden is the... If Clinton didn't win based on a third Obama term, Biden's not going to save the party. And Biden has zero charisma. Not that Clinton has any charisma, but she has money. She has unlimited resources. She, for 2 years, has convinced the nation through corrupt officials like Comey and Clapper and Brennan, who all lied under oath, that Russia cheated her. She has stated in 2000... Okay, her surrogates have stated it in 2017, 18, and 19, and major publications, the Wall Street Journal, the Politico, and other publications. She's running. She's running again. And quickly followed by, oh, well, she's not really running. No, she's running again. By Monday, after less than a week, as presidential candidate, Mr. Sanders has collected $10 million from 359,914 donors. To the 359,914 people who've donated $10 million to Bernie Sanders, I respectfully say you will never see your money again. And I respectfully say you are giving money to Clinton 2020. You think you're giving money to Klobuchar 2020? Make the comb salad eating great again campaign? No. You're giving money to the eventual Democratic Party machine that Clinton operates. She's going to run again because that's all she knows. Unlimited power is Clinton's life. Both of them, Bill and Hillary. They have I'm reading a book on the Praetorian Guard, the Roman Praetorian Guard. The new Praetorian Guard is the intelligence community, the NSA, the FBI, the CIA. This is the new Praetorian Guard. And if you know anything about history or Roman history, it didn't work out well for them or for Rome because their corruption. Anyway, I'll get to that another time. But the point is, these are essentially whatever. I'll get to the correlation between the Roman Praetorian Guard and the intelligence community another time. $10 million from 359,914 donors. And then you have, just today, Bernie Sanders' staff shakeup an hour ago. Top strategists leave his presidential campaign. The chief strategist of the Vermont Independent 2016 campaign and two others' aides cite creative differences as they part ways. Okay, this is not the going down with the ship Clinton staff that make Nixon's plumbers look like, you know, disloyal people. This is his staff is leaving him as he's raising $10 million. And there's a crowded field of people who have been carbon copies of him on policy. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party knows very well they're just saying things just to get votes. Okay, there's no Medicare for all bill. We have been told from pundits, we have been told from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, we have been told that human beings, American citizens, are losing their lives because there's no Medicare for all. Where's the bill? Are they championing Bernie Sanders' bill in 2017? No. Have they co-sponsored or sponsored a bill? Have they written legislation? No. Are they voting on any bill for Medicare for all? No. Their thing is gun control and stopping Trump's wall, and that's it. They utilized all of that for the freshman class of progressives. They won the House because of stupid voters, because of people who just hate Trump and will believe anything that Democrats say. Democrats have zero intention of rolling into 2020 by doubling or tripling tax collection or even increasing corporate or personal income tax by 30 or 40% or 10%. Notice how they only focus on taxing the rich. Well, that is a smokescreen. You're not going to be able to pay for any Green New Deal or Medicare for all, $15 minimum wage, or free college tuition by taxing the rich. You're not going to get that much money. Bernie's policies, you would have to tax all Americans either exponentially greater or by 10, 20, 30, 40%. But that's the thing, we don't know. We don't know what the exact amount would be. That's why they're not serious, in addition to the fact they haven't implemented any legislation. But not only that, in a major shakeup, Bernie Sanders just launched Bernie Sanders' just launched presidential bid. Some of his top strategists have left the campaign. Tad Devine, Mark Longbow, and Julian Mulvey, colleagues in a political consulting firm who all played leading roles in Sanders' 2016 campaign for the White House, are parting ways with the senator, citing creative differences. The entire firm has stepped away. We're leaving the campaign. We just didn't have a meeting of the minds. Okay, what? You just raised $10 million. What? How are you going to win? These are the same people who helped build the 2016 campaign. Then you have, look, you have the hit pieces from the Washington Post. I've reported on Bernie Sanders for a year. Free press won't give him what he wants. Okay, so look, I don't know if this is exactly a hit piece, but okay, so the senator would not answer questions about political gossip or members. Okay, so look, the press is treating him like a cute little, like this long-lost friend that they're utilizing simply to pave the way for establishment Democrats and eventually Hillary Clinton. I've explained endlessly, Clinton is running again. I stated in 2016 she would lose. In 2015, I said she was unelectable. In the Huffington Post, The Hill, Salon, on this channel, I literally state she's unelectable. I stated it endless times. She won't win again. But why not, if you're Clinton, try yet again? She's the only chance for them to win Florida, which is hilarious for me to say this because she won't win Florida, but she's the only chance for them. They have to win Florida to have any hope. If they don't win Florida, they have zero hope of defeating Trump. Who can outraise Clinton? Bernie? Bernie will raise a lot of money, but he's running on fumes now. This is the Bernie Sanders. This is not the Bernie Sanders of 2016. That is an actual threat. There's an actual obstacle to the Democratic Party that they had to cheat and steamroll and obliterate and make him simply acquiesce. This is not going to work out well for the Democratic Party, primarily because they're going to engage in the same corruption, the same cheating, the same lying, the same money laundering, and the same losing as they did in 2016. Clinton will yet again be the Democratic nominee. And yet again they'll lose, and they'll blame yet another thing. And the media will rally and will demand obedience and demand allegiance, and the same pundits who said vote for Clinton in 2016, who pretend they don't like Clinton in 2019, will say vote for Clinton in 2020. You're not talking about a normal, sane, liberal sphere of politics. You're talking about a very, very dangerous cult. This is a very dangerous, and they think they're the smartest people in the room. You couldn't find bigger imbeciles and clowns. Bernie Sanders is part of that. What kind of man, what kind of person who wants to fight the 1%, gets cheated and then cuddles up to his tormentors simply to push the party left, which they're not even really pushed leftward. They're not even pushed to the left. Like, they talk about things now, but they don't implement them because they know, A, that they're not feasible, but B, they know that talking about things will get votes. See, when I was on the left, I had the right strategy. Refuse to vote. This way they know, look. This way they know. If you refuse to vote Democrat, there's one guy who's like, it's better than Republican. But why don't people understand they're better than... I can't do the... Oh, man, why can't I do this? One day I'm going to get this guy's voice. Not everything... Just because a Democrat might be better than a Republican in your mind for 4 years or 2 years or 6 years, if corruption, if cheating, if blaming Russia without any evidence becomes the norm, you don't have a political party anymore. You have a criminal organization. You have Tammany Hall on steroids. So you can't simply say, well, I'll just accept anything as long as I get some of my policy objectives. That's a recipe for disaster. You have to let the political party know, if you do this, you will not get my vote ever. That will dissuade the political party from engaging in corrupt criminal activity. But see, if you just allow the political party to do anything, they know they can get away with anything, and they'll do anything to win. Absolutely anything. And they'll lose consistently. The House, look, the Senate, for the 5th time in 105 years, a sitting president's party kept the Senate and gained votes. That was the 5th time, so that's pretty good. Obama lost more seats than Trump did, and he went 8 years. Trump will go 8 years. The point with Bernie giving money, $10 million to the Democratic Party, is that he knows he's like a 1% chance of winning. He's not going to win. He knows that. He knows that, and if he gets close and they cheat him, he'll just acquiesce and tell his voters to vote for Clinton. Or let's just say Clinton's not running. She is. Let's just say Kamala Harris, 2020. You're talking about a person who was cheated and then told his voters, just vote for the person who cheated me, and then blame Russia. This is the revolutionary candidate. He's raising $10 million. He'll raise 20. He'll raise 100. He'll raise 300 million. It'll all go back to Hillary. It'll all pave the way for Hillary. This is like a minefield that Klobuchar with her salad and comb, and Bernie and Warren with her failed DNA test, they're all walking through just to pave the way for Hillary. I keep saying this, and it's like I was right in 2015 and 2016. All the smartest people in the room were wrong. And I'm telling you, that's what's going to take place. Bernie Sanders is going to just raise money for Clinton 2020, which is essentially what he's doing now. Clinton is going to lose eventually, but that ride, and she'll get indicted, whether before or after she loses, that ride that we're gonna have is gonna be a very similar ride. It's gonna be like, this is one one of my amazing subscribers said this is like Groundhog's Day in hell, which is hilarious. Hit subscribe right now. Bernie's gonna raise a lot more than $10 million, and the media is gonna do everything possible to prevent Bernie from winning, just like they did. And they'll be successful. The Democratic Party will say, why do we need Bernie? They're already saying, why do we need Bernie Sanders? We have Kamala Harris. We have Elizabeth Warren. We have Kristen Gillibrand. We have all these people who have adopted these policies. Meanwhile, there's no legislation. Why isn't Kamala Harris co-sponsoring or forcing a vote for legislation? Why hasn't she pushed a vote for legislation on Medicare for All in the Senate? Why didn't she champion Bernie's bill and say, hey, we got to vote for this again? Or they didn't even vote for this. We have to get this out of the budget, the Congressional Budget Office. Because the Congress doesn't even know if Bernie's bill is feasible. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. The millennial outreach of the Democratic Party, Bernie Sanders and a great many of his pundits, not all of his pundits, some of it, there's about 2 or 3 people, 4 people I could name that really believe, in Bernie Sanders or whatever. The rest of the liberal media are utilizing Bernie simply as a fundraising apparatus. It's the DNC millennial outreach. That's it. That's it. Hit subscribe right now. Thank you so very, very much.